Adding error bars in Excel to show your standard deviation can be very tricky. This short lesson will show you how to do this. This video will help you add error bars onto your graph to represent standard deviation. I'm going to suggest that you type in your standard deviation in this vertical format. Excel just seems to prefer it over typing it horizontally. To add in error bars, you will click on your graph, click on the plus up here, go to error bars. You must click more options to make sure you're adding your error bars. Scroll down to custom, select specify value. For your positive error value, just select all of your standard deviations. For your negative value, you will do the exact same thing. And this will return your error bars. Let's look at them and make sure it's how we want them to be. So number one, we are seeing two sets of error bars. We're seeing the vertical and the horizontal. The vertical are the ones that we want. That represents our standard deviation. The horizontal, we do not want. The horizontal error bars would show the variation in our age groups. So you can click on those horizontal and just delete those right off of here. And when you look at your error bars, make sure it corresponds to your data. So for example, at the 30 age range, we have a pretty large error bar. And if you look at the data up here at our 30, that was our largest standard deviation. So that makes sense. Smallest standard deviation was at the 50 age range. And when you look at that, you can't even see the error bar because it's so small. So make sure it reflects what your data actually shows. Also, you want to make sure that you're analyzing these error bars. So we want to look at the overlap. So, looking at between 20 and 30 age range, there's a really large overlap here between our error bars, showing that they share a lot of the same data in common. So there's probably not a great difference between those two age groups. Same with the 30 age group and the 40 age group, there's a lot of overlap. But if you were comparing ages 40 to 50, that looks like there's a significant difference. So keep that in mind. If you're looking at this overall, there is a strong positive correlation, but you can also talk about the differences or lack of differences between the specific groups. Once you've constructed your graph and it looks pretty and exactly how you want, make sure everything on your graph is clearly labeled. You need to include a little label that says what the error bars are representing, because error bars actually can represent the range of data as well. So you need to make sure you include this in that it's one standard deviation. If you miss something like that, you can get marked down on communication. Make sure your axes are clearly labeled with units, and make sure you have a very descriptive title. It can't just be graph or reaction time graph. It needs to be really specific. All right, hopefully this was helpful for you.